The best thing about solo camping is getting a little bit of time to sleep in. I normally wake up about 5:30. It's 7:30 now, so that extra 2 hours of sleep feels really nice. I have probably a good 35 miles of trail to make up that I was planning on tackling yesterday, but due to that closed trail, I had to do some backtracking. So there's an area that I'm hoping to get to today. Unfortunately, it's at the very end of what I was planning, but I'd like to get to it because I'm planning a project, and this is an area where I want to go through, but I'm worried about there being some gates. So I wanted to get out there and check it out first and make sure that it was going to be all clear for this trip that I'm working on. So let's get some breakfast in me and get on the trail. It's a beautiful morning right now, and you are so excited, huh? Good girl. Molly, watch out for the camera. Ooh, that's a black bear right there. No way. Holy cow. And he's not very big. Hey bear, get! Get! Hey! Get! Get! He is not scared of me at all. That's maybe... I heard something big moving. I thought it was a deer. That's maybe... I'm worried he's got a friend. He's cub size. Either he's with a mom. Ooh. Well, that's some excitement for the morning. You see how good my guard dog is? She doesn't even bark at it. Well, that added a little bit of excitement to the morning. Kind of heard some stomping around, and I thought it was either an elk or a moose. It was so big, and I was kind of poking around, couldn't see anything. I was like, that's really close. And sure enough, I see some ears pop up, and it's a black bear. So my guess is they often get kicked out from mom in their second spring. My guess is that he's been on his own for just a couple months and was smelling me and last night's dinner, stuff like that, and just getting curious. So always want to be careful with bears, typically black bears. There's not very many attacks of those in Utah, but no way I'm getting between a mama bear and a cub. So I was super close to the Jeep, could jump inside if needed, and he was probably just poking around. I have no doubt 20-30 minutes after I leave, he'll be right back here sniffing around. So I actually saw him down the road. He kind of, after he ran off, he kind of circled around. I could hear some movement still, and then all of a sudden he popped up on the road just down there. So I'm sure as soon as I'm gone, he'll be back. Let's get some breakfast. Hope I'm not breakfast, and go from there. All right, while my breakfast is cooking, I want to show you two devices that I'm pretty excited about. So I've been running this since Christmas. It's a little lantern. It's a USB rechargeable lantern, so I like that. I can plug it in, recharges the batteries. I'm not trying to swap out AA's or AAA's. It has a couple different light modes. It has a flashlight mode. Flashlight's okay. I wouldn't buy it for the flashlight mode. What I love it for is this lantern mode. I don't like having the propane style lanterns. They get super hot. In my opinion, they're a fire hazard. Too many kids are touching them and burning their fingers. So having something like this, they can carry it around with them in camp. At night, I'll throw it up in the Jeep attic, and it gives you plenty of light inside the cab of the Jeep. Even a lot of times I'll put the boys down to bed, and I'll be out at the campfire, and sometimes they'll feel a little nervous because it's dark and maybe the Jeep's, you know, a little bit ways away from the campfire. It has this red mode, which I like. I'll throw that in the Jeep, and it gives them a little bit of light, but it's not so bright that they can't sleep. So, and it'll charge your devices. You can plug in, you could recharge your phone, different things like that. Obviously you have to have a full battery, but it lasts a long time. I usually don't charge it before every trip. I'll usually just test it out. If it's running low, I'll throw it either on the solar panel, or I will just plug it into the Jeep. Then the next thing that I'm excited about is this Audew jumper pack. So I've had a couple different jumper packs in the past. Now let me be clear, I'm not endorsing this one yet. I have never jumped the Jeep with it, thank goodness. I have jumped an ATV, worked great, but I want to use it on a Jeep or another full-size vehicle before I'm like, yeah, this is the one to go out and get. So I'm endorsing the product category. Go and get yourself a jumper pack. Basically, you plug into the side of this, then it has jumper cables that you can hook onto your vehicle and you can jump start it. Most of them will jump start a vehicle about 20 times if they're fully charged. So what I like, it comes in a super compact little pack. I put it in this, drop it in the Jeep, doesn't take up any space. Gives me that peace of mind that like on a morning like today, I'm out in the wilderness. If I'd have to hike up to the main road up there and just wait until someone was coming by for me to flag them down to come down and jump me with my cables if I didn't have something like this. So part of being self-sufficient, self-sustaining, I think it's a really good idea to have some type of a jumper pack. This one also works as a flashlight, most of them do, and they all work as external batteries too, so you can charge things. So last night I got to camp, my phone was completely dead because I've been jumping out, taking pictures, using it to navigate, and I was able to charge this, hardly used any of the power in the pack, totally charged my phone, and now I have a full phone and I still have something that I can jumpstart my vehicle. So I definitely think it's just a good idea to have something like this. If you have one that you've used and you love, jump in the comments and let me know. So I'll leave links to both of these in the description. But I just think it's a good idea to have some power like this in case, you know, you wake up to a dead battery and you need to get a jump. Well, you can see I'm not breaking from tradition. I'm going with a breakfast sandwich. But I love a breakfast sandwich with a nice runny over easy egg on it. It's perfect. Alright, so I just finished up breakfast and it's time to clean up. I want to see how long it takes me to pack up camp. You guys can kind of get an idea of what that looks like. So here we go. Good girl. Done. So what I really love about Reservation Ridge Road is you really are just driving on top of this ridge, which is really beautiful. And, you know, there's a decent amount of traffic on this road, but compared to a lot of other mountain ranges that are similar distances away, it doesn't get near the same amount of traffic as some of those other places. So it's nice to have a little bit more of this to myself. Admittedly, this road's a lot less scary when there's not snow on it like when I did it last time, because you definitely do not want to go off that edge. When it's dry, no big deal, but slick, it kind of leans that way, it'd be very scary. I've decided that Reservation Ridge Road is one of the most underrated high mountain trail systems. It's not really a trail system, but trails in Utah. You know, I really love Skyline Drive, and it's really pretty. It's similar, but, you know, different in a lot of ways too. But in a lot of ways, I like Reservation Ridge Road more. It's less busy because it's not as conducive to like your fifth wheels and RVs. But it's just beautiful. There's tons of spur trails everywhere. I think you could spend weeks up here just checking out every single little spur trail. And you know, I've passed a few vehicles, but nothing like when I'm on Skyline. So, you know, if you're looking for something that's similar where you're in the high mountains, it's a lot cooler. You know, it's still hot, 77, but we're also in the middle of July. So if you're looking for something that's cooler, high mountains, beautiful scenery everywhere in all directions, check out Reservation Ridge Road. It is awesome. So if you guys want to jump in the comments and let me know what you drive and what you air down to, I'm just pretty curious. I know it depends on the vehicle and the weight and how much gear you have, things like that. So it's not necessarily, no recommendation is perfect for everyone. I usually go down somewhere between 15 and 18 PSI, and I just pumped back up to 30 in preparation for jumping on the highway. And the difference is like night and day. Like, I always think, oh, is it gonna be worth it? And then I air down and I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely worth it. So curious as to what you guys are doing. I've just aired back up. I have, I think, about 3 more miles before I jump on pavement, and since it's a highway, I don't want to be running around at, you know, 18 PSI. Something that I badly wish that Jeep would develop is an onboard air system that I could just set the PSI, so right before I'm about ready to jump on the pavement, it'll pump me back up to, you know, 35, 40 PSI or whatever I set. But until then, I'll keep doing it the manual way. So once I get on the highway, I'm going to make time and try to get up to Duchesne. I'll stop there and fill up with gas. That'll probably be around noon, and then start making my way over to the dirt sections that I had planned for today. So should be really cool. The 191 is a really cool highway. Try to grab a little bit of footage of it because it's pretty. Retirement goals right here. RV, pulling the Jeep, living on the road. I'll take it. Starvation Reservoir. It's looking busy. Right, what I'm trying to do is, last year Mike and I did a trip called To the Uintas by Dirt, and we basically wanted to make it from our homes in Utah County all the way up to the Uinta Mountains going over dirt rather than jumping on the pavement for a couple hours. We think going on the dirt for a day would be more fun. And it was, but there's one section of it that is pretty much just crap. It is dirt roads, and it's better than driving on pavement, but it was super washboardy. It wasn't really enjoyable to drive. So I'm planning this other project where I'm going to be going through that exact same area, but I don't want to go on those same roads. So I found another route that basically I can take from Trout Creek up to Current Creek and then down Duchesne River Road that'll eventually lead back to Heber, Utah. Well, I haven't been on those roads before, and so I wanted to map it out and see if they were better than those other ones. If they're not, it's not a big deal. We can go on those other ones. But anyways, that's kind of what I'm planning to do. It's basically a real narrow horseshoe that I start here and I end up in Heber, which is like maybe 30 miles away by direct drive, but I'm going to be going up and doing a big loop to do it. So should be pretty fun. All new dirt roads. Let's get started. Molly. Good girl. Good girl. There's Current Creek. You can see it's pretty busy. There's a dead end sign down at the bottom of this little turn, and it's all shot to crap and looks super old, and my map's saying there's a road that goes through. So of course my luck is I go to check, it's definitely still a dead end, and now doing a little bit of backtracking. Boards. It's ridiculous. So bad right here. I don't know how the guys in Australia can do it for just like miles and miles and miles and miles. And I know like if you get the right, you know, speed, it makes it better, but still just ugh. Jars your teeth loose. So right now I'm really pleased because this is bypassing the washboardy section, and so far it is really good. We'll see if it stays that way, but much better. Come on, that view. It's so green over there. So I have been climbing and climbing and climbing, and I thought, man, I've got to be getting to the top soon. And I finally made it, and it is incredible. Check this out. There are a lot of instances in which I wish that I had a drone. This is definitely one of them. This shelf road going down is just amazing. And it would be so cool if out in the middle of that, a drone was shooting me going this way. So it looks like I'm going to be going back up that hill. Looking at my mapping, there was kind of a split right before going down, and the one to the left, which is where my mapping was taking me, did not look like it was a still existing road, which makes me worried that this loop that I planned, that I'm like 80% into it and it doesn't go anywhere. I'm hoping maybe I just missed something and didn't notice it, but anyway, so now I'm backtracking. I'm about to start going back up that huge steep hill to see what I missed, because I went down a long ways and the road goes, but it's not going the direction that I'm supposed to be meeting out, but I've definitely veered off of track, so we'll see. Alright, so the good news is I ran into a couple locals and asked them. They were coming down that big hill on their side-by-side, so I was just waiting for them to pass. They said that I can go back up and go along that road that I thought was overgrown. They said it's fine. or there's another route down through here. So since I've been up on the ridge for pretty much a good part of today, I'm gonna go down this other way that they mentioned. They said it's pretty cool. There's a little bit of a water crossing supposedly, so should be fun.
It was always on fire, our house, our dreams. We were dancing on a wire, reckless it seemed. We found holes in these walls, we like what we saw. Seems so strong until it falls, the final straw. Oh, I never felt like this before. When I was trapped, you showed it
open. Check out this nice little pond. This trip has just been so amazing. The mountain views, nothing can do these mountains justice. And I'm just really loving every second of this.
We dance, we fall. We were bound to make mistakes. We love, we thought. It was always
This big, huge old bull is giving no F's. Okay, bud. Oh, I love it. I'm just like driving down the road. He just stops and is like, "No, dude, I'm not moving for you." Just takes a big old huge crap. That was hilarious. Look at how beautiful this valley is down here. That would not be a bad spot to live.
I never felt like this before. When I was trapped, you showed it open.
Just wrapping things up in Hannah, Utah. My original plan was to get here, fill up on fuel, and actually take the dirt back towards Heber, but it's past 7 o'clock and I'm still several hours away from home, so I'm actually going to call it here and take the pavement home and have to come back and check out that other section on another trip. But this has been so amazing. Riding along these ridge lines has been absolutely beautiful. The views rival any views of mountain views in Utah. This has probably become my new favorite mountain range to drive on. You know how much I love Skyline Drive, but the trails here are a little more technical, definitely less busy, and just a lot of fun. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe. If you want to help me out, please share this video with your friends, and if you want to follow me on the day-to-day, you can check me out on Instagram at Backroad Exploration. Thanks for watching.
Then we were dancing on wire. Yeah, we were dancing on wire.